Level 1. The button masher. You're 7, the controller is too big for your hands, and you have no idea what you're doing. You mash every button at once and somehow win, and that feeling never really leaves you. You play the same level 100 times, losing, restarting, losing again, and you never get bored. Your parents say it's just a phase, that you'll grow out of it, and they are completely wrong. You play split screen with friends and you're terrible, dead last, every single round. But you notice something the others don't. You remember the maps, the patterns, the timings. You don't know it's a skill yet, you just know you can't stop thinking about the game. Online, strangers destroy you in seconds, and you have no idea how they're that fast. You're nobody, ranked at the very bottom, with a cheap headset and a dream you can't explain. What you don't know yet is that the bottom of the ladder is the start of the next 20 years. Level 2. The ranked grind. You're 13 and you discover the words that change everything. Ranked, competitive, the ladder. Suddenly the game has a hidden number attached to your name, and that number becomes your life. You start in the bottom tier, the one nobody is proud of, and you swear you'll climb out of it. You find a whole layer you never saw, the meta, the picks, the things the pros do on instinct. You stop playing to have fun and start playing to win, and the two stop being the same thing. You queue one more game, then one more, and suddenly it's 3 a.m. on a school night again. Every loss stings like something personal, and every rank up feels like proof you're not nobody. You start watching pros for hours, copying their settings, their sensitivity, their warm-up routine. You climb a tier, then two, and for the first time that number going up feels like a future. But the higher you go, the harder every single rank becomes, and the real grind has only just begun. Level 3. The tryhard. You're 16 and you've climbed higher than 99% of the people who ever play. You hit the ranks where talent isn't enough anymore, where everyone around you is already good. You stop blaming your team and start recording yourself, watching your own mistakes back, frame by frame. You learn the gap between you and the top isn't your reflexes, it's your decisions made faster. You drill mechanics like a musician drills scales, the same motion 1,000 times over. Your aim, your game sense, your timing, all of it sharpens far past what ever felt natural. You reach a rank that puts your name on a leaderboard, and people you don't know start to notice you. You realize this isn't a hobby anymore. Somewhere in the grind, it quietly became your identity. Then you slam into a wall. A rank you cannot break no matter how many hours you pour in. You discover the hardest truth in the game. Raw, solo skill has a ceiling, and you found yours. To climb any higher, you can't do it alone anymore, and that changes everything. Level 4. The local competitor. You're 18 and you sign up for your first real tournament, fully expecting to dominate. You walk in ranked near the top of the ladder, and you get humbled in the very first match. You discover that high solo rank and real team competition are not the same thing at all. On a team, your individual skill means nothing if 5 people don't move as one. You learn callouts, roles, and timings, the language a team speaks without speaking. You lose, badly, to players worse than you mechanically but far better together. It's the same lesson every level taught you. The thing you were sure you knew, you didn't. You go home, and you don't quit. You go find people who take it as seriously as you do. You build a team out of strangers from a Discord server and start practicing as one unit. And the moment you stop playing for yourself, your entire game changes. Level 5. The amateur. You're 20, on an amateur team, and the casual days are completely behind you now. You scrim every night, practice matches against other teams, and review every round afterward. You learn that the pros don't just play the game, they study it like a science. You win a small online tournament and split a few $100s 5 ways, and it feels enormous. You start getting noticed by bigger teams, by managers, by the academy systems below the pros. Your family asks when you'll get a real job, and you don't have an answer they'll like. You're good enough that quitting feels insane, but not yet good enough to get paid to play. You're standing in the most dangerous spot in any career, close enough to the dream to risk it all. Every roster change, every team that falls apart, every near miss tests whether you'll stay. Most of the people you started with quit right here, where the cost is real and the reward isn't yet. You don't quit because you've felt with your own hands how close it actually is. Level 6. The pro. You're 22, an organization signs you, and overnight gaming becomes your actual job. You get a salary, a jersey, a contract. Tier 1 players can make thousands of dollars a month. You move into a team house where you live and eat and sleep beside the same 5 people. You practice 10 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, the same maps, the same drills. The thing you loved as a kid is now a profession, with bosses, reviews, and relentless pressure. You learn that being a pro is mostly grinding the boring parts long after the fun is gone. Your wrists ache, your sleep is wrecked, and your entire world shrinks down to one game. You stop answering old friends because there are simply no hours left in the day. You're living the dream millions of kids share, and some days it honestly feels like a cage. And there's always a younger player in the academy, hungry, cheaper, and ready for your spot. One bad split, one slump, and the same org that signed you will bench you without blinking. Level 7, the champion. You're 23, and your team reaches the big stage, a sold-out arena, lights, cameras. Thousands scream a gamer tag your parents still can't quite take seriously. The biggest tournaments are unreal. Dota's International has paid out over $40 million. A 16-year-old once won $3 million in a single stadium playing a game about building walls. You play the best series of your life in front of millions watching around the world. Every hour of every grind, all the way back to the bottom of the ladder, lands in this one moment. You win, you lift the trophy, and for one night, you are the best in the world at the thing you love. The prize money is more than your parents earned in years, and the sponsors all come calling. You're famous now, in a world most adults don't even know exists. You made it. You actually made it. The kid mashing buttons would never have believed it. But in this sport, the view from the top comes with the shortest clock of any career on Earth. Level 8, the decline. You're 25, and for the first time you feel a half step behind the 17-year-olds. Reaction time peaks around 24, and after that it slips a single millisecond a year. It's almost nothing, but in a game decided by milliseconds, almost nothing is everything. The 10-hour days you used to crush now leave you drained in a way they never used to. A new kid in your role does everything you do, but faster, hungrier, and for far less money. The org sits you down for the conversation you've watched happen to older players for years. You get benched, then dropped, and the team you bled for replaces you in a single weekend. The fans move on instantly. The next young star is trending before you've even logged off. You're 25 years old, and the only career you ever wanted is telling you you're old. You realize the hands slow down, but the thing in your head, the game sense, only ever grew. The question isn't whether you're finished, it's what you do with everything you learned. Level 9, the legacy. You're 30 and you never really left the game. You just quietly changed seats. You coach now, or you stream, or you call the shots for a team from behind the players. Your hands are a step slower, but your mind reads the game better than it ever did at 20. You take a raw, talented kid and turn them into a player, the way someone once did for you. The legends prove it works. The greatest player of all time became part owner of his own team. You build an audience, a brand, a business out of 2 decades of pure obsession. You watch a player you train lift a trophy you never could, and somehow that feels even better. And somewhere right now, a 7-year-old is holding a controller too big for their hands. They're losing, restarting, losing again, and they cannot stop thinking about the game. They're ranked at the very bottom, a nobody with a cheap headset and a dream they can't explain. They'll climb. Most won't. A few will go further than you ever did. That's how it's supposed to work.